Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the iFiber Rink here in Wenatchee, Washington, part of the Town Toyota Center complex. We'll present tape-delayed coverage tonight of the Wenatchee Wilderness U16AAA club taking on the Seattle Sno-King Jr. Thunderbirds. It's game 2 of a 3-game weekend series. Game 1 played this morning at 11 a.m. local time. Seattle skating away with a 4-1 victory. They jumped out to a 3-0 lead. Bobby Anselmo's power play goal got the Wilderness on the board. But then an empty net goal by Jason Dua, his second goal of the game, provided that final 4-1 margin. So the Wilderness and the White Sweaters defend the goal off to our right here in this opening period. We'll play 3 18-minute periods. We'll have an ice cut midway through the second, the first whistle after the stoppage in play after the midway point of the period. Puck down inside the Wenatchee zone and back behind the net. It's going to be picked up and played there by Luke Pizzi. Pizzi has it and then moves it back around behind. Swung around but can't clear. Got held in at the point. Shot there, blocked, comes out to center. Matheson will handle it there for Seattle. They'll drive it in. Thunderbirds change on the fly. Wenatchee regroups in their own end, completing a partial line change. And up the near wing, skating into the zone, is Gabe Kindgren. Logan Weber chases after it. Centering feed, gets broken up. Shot, score! Bobby Anselmo, his second goal of the day. Very quickly, the puck came out of the right wing corner. Out in front, and Anselmo snaps it home just a minute 3 into the opening period. For Anselmo, that goal moves him into a tie for the team lead in goals scored. He now has 6 on the year. That ties him with Spencer Stenholm. So Anselmo providing all the offense thus far in this one, in this weekend for the Wenatchee Wilderness. Logan Weber with a nice check, forces a turnover. Wilderness regain possession. And up on the right side, Anselmo comes in, gets poked off his blade. Thunderbirds able to clear as they backhand it along, and Braden Snell will pick it up back in his own end. Zaus Landry gets the start in net for the Wilderness once again, as he played this morning's game. Played brilliantly, actually. He ended up with the loss, but he did successfully turn aside 39 shots in the game. On the near wing, it's carried in by Cage Ballard, and that takes a weird hop and careens in toward the net. And that'll be covered up there by the Seattle goaltender, who is Curtis Frischler. Frischler got the rest this morning as Grant Lang played. I mentioned this morning I thought Grant Lang had to be at least 6'2", and he is listed at 6'3". Matheson far side, can't clear. Cage Ballard smacks at it. A little deeper into the corner. Stenholm can't get there. It's going to be swung around. Pinching down from the left side was Jensen, but that crossing pass tipped, and Snell has to hunt it down in front of his own bench. From his knee, he tries to sling it ahead, and stepping into the zone, looked to be offside, but play will continue. Knocked back out, though, by Seattle anyhow, and down inside the Wenatchee zone. Fluttered ahead for Jensen. His crossing pass is picked up and carried in stride by Cohen Wood, but then knocked away. It's Braden Lang back the other way. Lang, rather, on the far side. Poke checked away off his blade and down to the corner inside the Wenatchee zone. 1-0. Wilderness lead it here early in the period. Pass along, tipped by Stenholm. That's going to go the length of the ice, though, and icing will be called. And that'll set up a face-off back inside the Wilderness zone. Tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., these two teams will do it again. We made several attempts to try to get a live stream out of here, but we're settling for tape-delayed coverage, and it'll be posted on YouTube, which is how you're seeing it now. Puck played by Wenatchee, fluttered out through center, bounces off the blade of Adam Paulson deep inside the zone. Paulson spins, throws it ahead, off the glass, bounces down. Templeton couldn't find it. Braden Lang did, though, and he'll chase it down to the end wall inside the Wenatchee zone. Has it on the end wall, checked by Bacchus. Thunderbirds want to get a centering pass off, but it's going to be turned over and back the other way. Here comes Wenatchee moving right to left. Bacchus Banks it off the glass, but it's sent back the other way. Intended for McCauley. Bacchus steals it. Got it to Anselmo, but it hits a skate. Deflects to Logan Weber, right side. His shot deflects. And down into the corner. Wilderness guided back for Jensen. He whiffed on his shot from the near point. Then recovers as the puck trickled out to the neutral zone. Cross-rink pass to his D partner on the far side. Lead feed intended for Anselmo out of his reach. Back in his own end for the Thunderbirds was Paulson. However, it's collected and carried in the left side by Wenatchee. Over to the right point. Shot there, score! A wrister from the right point. And it's Braden Snell. And for Braden Snell, his first goal of the season. And that's a pretty one. Nice, good heavy wrist shot from the right point. Time of the goal there is 4 minutes and 1 second. So a nice response thus far from Wenatchee after a pretty convincing victory this morning for Seattle. Wenatchee responds with a solid effort, at least early on here in this one. Anselmo, his sixth of the year. Braden Snell, his first. It's 2-0 Wenatchee. Puck drilled back in down inside the Wilderness zone, hustling back. Chasing it down there is Braden Lutz. Shot in on net, blockered away by Landry. Another shot from the left wall that's steered aside. And the Wilderness will look to dance out through center. Carried along by Cage Ballard, then over to Cohen Wood. He'll dump it in deep and peel off on a change. Spencer Stenholm, the lone forechecker for Wenatchee. Comes out to center though. Logan Weber has it. One-touch pass from Jensen. And then back across. And it's for Jensen to collect in his own corner. His feet ahead is for Weber. Nice crisp pass. He wheels and takes off on the right side. Goodmanson's on his tail. Hustling down the right wing, carrying it around behind his Weber, and he tried to spin around to get a centering pass off, but rolled off his blade. Max Wilkinson instead will rip at the length of the ice, setting up a face-off back inside the Thunderbird zone after the icing call. 12:52 on the clock, first period, 2-0 in favor of the Wenatchee Wilderness. Face off to the stick side of the goaltender, Curtis Fritzler. Brendan Lang takes the draw. Or Brendan Lang, I should say. Battle in the neutral zone. And a lead feed, far side, backhanded along from Anselmo, broken up back to the Wild zone, or Wilderness zone, I should say. That's going to be a habit that won't go anywhere anytime soon. But we get an icing call once again, and we'll head back down into the Wenatchee zone for the ensuing face-off. Seeing a few faces in the Seattle lineup today that we didn't really see in the morning game. Quinn Tracy being one of them. Back to the right point, Matheson sends it off the wall to the left wing boards and muscled back around behind the Wenatchee net. Kindgren offered it along and eventually further towards the net, and Fritzler will play it there. Seattle angles it back out to center and knuckled along right back into the zone, courtesy of Braden Snell. Back behind the net, Cage Ballard with forecheck pressure, but Matheson able to move it along, but it's held in at the point. Shot tipped on the way through. Stick save made. Fritzler still alive, and there's a check thrown back behind the net. Comes back to the point once again, and Snell dances away from pressure. And on a second effort, the Thunderbirds get it back out to center ice. Snell dances into the zone, cuts to the right, shot, deflects away. He chases his own rebound, curls around behind the net, tries to muscle it out in front. He does. Shot and a save made by Fritzler. So Braden Snell netting his first goal of the season and then feeling it. He's got the hot hand and he's feeling the groove, and heavy pursuit in the offensive zone on that shift. And Braden Snell out of Snohomish, Washington. Face off in the Thunderbird zone off to our left. Whipped around and is smacked along by Jimmy Zeisel. Then the Thunderbirds will turn back. Looping around behind the net is Max Wilkinson. Zeisel tipped it along, but the Wilderness poke check it away, and Jensen to Lutz. Back over to Jensen in his own end. On the right wing, collected there, and feathered ahead for Stenholm. Stenholm carries it in and barely onside. Strider Ball did a nice job to double back and just stay onside. Centering feed out front, save made, loose trickles just wide of the net before Strider Ball could get a stick on it. Thunderbirds successfully clears back to center, and Cage Ballard will toss it in. Wilderness change on the fly. 10:32 to go, first period, 2-0 Wenatchee on top. Puck tipped along, and Goodmanson got a stick on it to help deflect it deep inside the Wilderness zone. Now a lead feed for Anselmo. 2 goals on the weekend. He's in on the left side. Tried to snap it across where it could be played by Will Summers, but it got deflected away. Anselmo on the end boards. Back around behind the net, chases after it. Brendan Lang is there, but he can't clear. Second effort, it does come out through center. Logan Weber will hunt it down. And he curls. Hits the brakes. And then it gets poke checked along where it's gathered by Summers. Ahead to Anselmo, and then that finds its way deep inside. Fritzler will stop it back behind the Thunderbirds net. Jason Dua, 2 goals in the morning game, and a couple of big hits as well. Puck down inside the Wenatchee zone. Yeah, we saw tempers get a little heated in the first game, but so far in this one, it's been hard, fast, and clean. Puck knocked away. Luke Pizzi finds it, and he'll race up on the right side. Seattle doing a good job on the back check into the corner. Pizzi swings it around. Now to the left wing corner. Connor Jensen was there. Then Lang smacks it along, and Cole Wilmert will clear it the length of the ice. Wilmert had a goal in the morning session. His goal was the second of the game. Ends up standing as the game winner. To the left-hand side of Frischler. He's out of Denver, Colorado. It's 5'11", 150. Cage Ballard, far side, has it on the forehand. Tips it along, and a backhand dish was tossed out in front, but it got knocked away. Back through center, trying to chase after it was Seattle, but offside is called. Cruz was hustling after it. Got poke checked away, and then he was trapped in the zone. Came back out, and by the time Dominic Wolf picked it up and carried it back in, Cruz hadn't had a chance to recollect his stick and get back out. Cruz standing in across from Cage Ballard. Puck drops and check thrown there. Seattle with it. Wolf with a backhand feed through the slot area. That got knocked away. There was a slash. And then a loose puck picked up by the Wilderness, and here they come. Nice feed on the near side. Here's Stenholm. Spencer Stenholm in. He shoots, and a save made. Rebound bounces past Templeton, and it'll be handled by Cruz for the Thunderbirds. He'll smack it back out to center. Spencer Stenholm, 6 goals on the year, and drops it off. And a backhand attempted by Ballard goes off the outside of the cage. Templeton on the far side throws it back to the point. Back down low at the right wing half boards. Nice dangle for a moment, but then recollected and taken, and then promptly stolen right back by Templeton. Out to center it goes, and Connor Jensen will carry it in off the left wing. Knocked off his blade. Back to the near side boards. Jimmy Zeisel is there. Zeisel works it along. And Strider Ball on the back check, doing a good job, but we're going to get a penalty here. There's a high stick, and it's a penalty on the Wilderness, so Seattle is going to go on the power play for the first time in this contest. Seattle was 0 for 6 in the morning game. .10:16 time of the penalty here for high sticking. Connor Jensen, the guilty party. Seattle had some 5-on-3 power play time this morning as well, and were unable to cash in on it, although they did show some snappy puck movement, but Landry was on point. So the puck inside the Wenatchee zone. Poke checked out to center, gloved by Hatz. And he'll sling it back over to the left side. And Seattle able to re-enter the zone momentarily, but promptly cleared by Wenatchee. Poke checked away, and again hits a skate out to center. Well, the Thunderbirds forced to regroup. Wesley Hatz moves it over, gets it back. Sends a snappy pass across to Goodmanson. Goodmanson had to kind of hit the brakes to be able to collect it and get possession. Eventually, it's Luke Pizzi who finds it. He just drives it in deep, and Seattle will regroup in their own end once again. Midway through the penalty kill, 6:45 on the clock, 2-0 Wenatchee leading it. Connor Jensen still serving his high sticking minor. In the corner to the left of Zaus Landry, Bobby Anselmo has it. Fights for it there. And chipped away, but not enough to get it out of the zone. Wilkinson with a backhander, blocked on the way through. Into the right wing corner it goes. Cleared but not out. Held in, shot taken there, slapped wide. And gathered by Wenatchee. Can't clear though. Now it's rolled out in front. And a one-timer attempt on the doorstep. Never really connected. A nice job on the defensive side by Will Summers to kind of help thwart that opportunity. Puck cleared the length of the ice. It's in on net. And Frischler will handle it. Drops it off. And Seattle looking to work back from left to right into the Wenatchee zone. As they drill it the length of the ice, I think Wenatchee thought they might get an icing there, but no such luck. Wenatchee in their own end. Final couple of seconds of the penalty kill. Jensen's out of the box. And back to full strength. Jensen goes straight to the bench. Templeton comes to the ice. And the Wilderness break out of their zone at even strength, 5-on-5 with a 2-0 lead. Spencer Stenholm looked to try to rifle it down into the zone, but ended up putting it in the Thunderbirds bench. So that will get us a whistle. Face-off out in the neutral zone with 5:29 to go here in the first period. Puck fired inside the Seattle zone. And back behind their net, Wesley Hatz plays it there. Whips it up along. Bacchus steps in from the left point. Shot from a steep angle, and that's steered aside easily by Frischler. Back along, Stenholm turns it along back into the Seattle zone. Up at the blue line, Cage Ballard spins and throws it toward the net. It was just low and wide. Smacked away out of the reach of Templeton and back out to neutral zone, where it's handled by Jensen now on his own end. Wenatchee and the Whites moving right to left, 2-0. Wilderness on top. Game 2 of a 3-game weekend set. Sent back around behind the Wenatchee net, and on the right side, here comes Summers. Summers with Stenholm, 2-on-2. Summers gets a poke checked off his blade over on the right wing. Stenholm over to help, held in at the right point, shot blocked, and here's going to be a breakaway back the other way for Zeisel. Zeisel's in alone, he shoots, and a glove save made. Oh no, did it go in? Or did he save it to go He did save it. The referee was pointing, but he was pointing like it was a goal, but he was pointing at the goalie's glove. That was weird looking. But the breakaway opportunity for Jimmy Zeisel. Came in, tried to snap a wrister on the glove side. Zaus Landry flat stoned him. And the referee was so stunned he pointed at the glove like it was a goal. That was odd. It remains 2-0. Here's Anselmo, comes up on the left side. He's in, his wrister, and a pad save made by Frischler. Rebound collected, and Wilkinson moves it ahead for Freeman. Freeman right side for Seattle. Forced wide, deep into the right wing corner, throws it in front, and that is covered up by Landry. It was an awkward play as Landry looked to be moving off to the side just a little bit, and he had to kind of hustle to react, and it looked awkward, but he was able to cover up on it, and we'll get the defensive zone draw. 3:52 left to go here in your opening period. Brendan Lang drawn against Luke Pizzi. Puck into the corner, sent around back behind the net. Snell moves it along, but not enough to clear. Held in left point by the Thunderbirds. And then back ahead, banked off the left wing boards. Greg Kagan's going to chase after it. And he wins the race, thus negating icing. But Matheson is right on his tail and comes away with it and punches it ahead. 3-on-2 for the Thunderbirds. There's Lang. He's got help with Tracy. Lang's going to carry it all the way around the world, though, back behind the net into the right wing corner now. And then reverses gears. So the 3-on-2 as they entered the zone, but opting to not get a shot off. And it was over to Matheson now on the near side. Matheson carries it in. Jensen forces him wide. Matheson shot, steep angle. Shoulder save made there by Landry. Back along. Cage Ballard is there, and it gets chipped away. Squirts loose. Matheson has it. Throws it off the rail back to the point. Trying to get a shot there was Dua, but there's a shot that'll be covered up by Landry. Dua was fighting to control the puck at the left point. He had a little pressure on him. He was able to move it a little further down the wall and a quick shot in on Landry, but he was in good position and was able to control it with no rebound. Max Cruz for Seattle, standing in across from Cage Ballard for the draw. Seattle wins the draw. It's up top, and there's a snappy wrist shot taken there by Adam Paulson. Went wide. Then back around behind the Wenatchee net once again. 2-0 Wilderness leading it. And then dumped right back into the Wenatchee corner. Takes a weird carom, and that'll get slapped on net. Nick Savage, who scored in the morning game, but that one easily patted away. All this in the corner off to the left of Landry. Dug out by the Wilderness and flipped out through center, but that's going to go a little too far, too long. That's an icing call. Back to the other end of the ice will go. In the morning game, early on, the first 5 minutes or so, the Wilderness really came out with a pretty good head of steam. But once Seattle got rolling, they continued to roll, and they dominated the remainder of that first period. After one in that first game, Seattle had a 2-0 lead, and they'd outshot Wenatchee 21-9. 2:07 left to go here in the opening period. There's a backhander from the slot and a pad save made, as denied again, Jimmy Zeisel. Zeisel's had a couple of really good looks, including that breakaway chance, but Landry has had an answer each time. Puck rimmed around. That's going to go the length of the ice, and that'll be another icing call, this time against Seattle. So into the T-Bird zone we'll go for the ensuing faceoff. Tomorrow morning, same two teams. Game 3 of the weekend set, 11 a.m. right here inside the iFiber Rink at Town Toyota Center. Luke Pizzi standing in across from Goodmanson. And it's Zeisel who comes up with it. Tries to put it through the boots of Jensen, and he does, but waiting for it there was Lutz. And the Wilderness come back the other way. Check thrown, puck inside the Seattle zone, flipped out deep back into the Wenatchee end. Fired ahead, and Pizzi wanted to get a tip on it, but was out of his reach, so that ends up being icing against the Wilderness. The Wilderness, one of 4 development teams that play out of Wenatchee. The U18 Wolves are in Youngstown, Ohio for a tournament this weekend. We got the U16AAA Warriors and the U14 Wolverines. The Wilderness, of course, as you all know, a full-time billet program, as are the Wolves. On the right side, puck chipped off the glass, but hits the stanchion. They're going to blow it down, and we'll reset and try it again. Down to 1:05 left in your opening period. Wilderness win the draw into the corner, played by Kindren. Not enough to clear, however. Right wing half wall. Kindgren will come up with it, loop around back behind his own net. Tried to get a crossing pass, but it kind of rolled off the blade. Weber recollects it, and he tried to send it off the glass out through center for a streaking Anselmo, but got a little too much underneath it and put it into the protective netting that protects the fans here at iFiber Rink. .43 seconds now. Ballard across from Goodmanson on the face-off dot once again. Into the corner it goes. Freeman pursues. Clearing attempt held in left point by Seattle. Check thrown on the end wall and picked up and controlled there by Ethan Bacchus. Moved ahead, tipped through center. Trying to get a handle on it with Summers. Goodmanson lost an edge. And a hand pass in the neutral zone is called, so that will bring another stoppage with 23 seconds left. 2-0 Wilderness leading it. Bobby Anselmo, his 6th of the year, just a minute 3 into the contest. Got things started. Braden Snell with a shot from the right point. That one coming at 4:01, his 1st of the year. And that's our 2-0 margin. Huge save made earlier by Zaus Landry on the breakaway by Jimmy Zeisel. Puck in the near side corner, stepping out in front was Summers. Couldn't get the shot though. Smacked away, and that's going to bring us to the horn as the puck was lofted out through center, and chasing it down, trying to get a chance at a breakaway was Cole Wilmert, but not enough time on the clock, and we'll send the players to their respective benches for a quick pause, and we'll be back with second period coverage here momentarily. The Seattle Thunderbirds in town to take on the Wenatchee Wilderness. Wenatchee leading at 2-0 after 1 period of play. Ready to start second period action here at the iFiber Rink. The Wenatchee Wilderness with a 2-0 lead over Seattle. The Wilderness will move left to right here in the second period. 18 minutes on the clock. And away we go. Puck tipped through center. Braden Lutz has it over for Jensen. Pressure on him, but he gets it to Roman Templeton. Brendan Lang tried to get it away, but swept by Wenatchee back around behind the net. Jensen smacks it along. Gets it out to center. Dumped back in. Wide of the cage. Shot attempt there got broken up. Greg Kagan tried to work it a little further for Wenatchee, but Connor Jensen finds it and sets it up for Templeton. Templeton off the blade of Pizzi, and then Pizzi gets it back as it was fed to him by Kagan. He'll chase it down in the left wing corner. Pizzi met there, bouncing puck. Templeton in to help. Clearing attempt, not out, held in at the left point by Bacchus. Still in the corner to the left of Fischler. And they try to roll it out front, but steered away. Weber zips it up top, but that eludes Bacchus. And that's going to come all the way back down inside the Wenatchee zone. Seattle changing on the fly. Wenatchee working it up on the right wing. It's Logan Weber, and he'll cut to his left. Gains his own, steps around Savage, has it all the way around the left boards, back around behind the net. Wants to get it back up top with traffic, and now he gets it to Bacchus. Shot blocked on the way through. Loose puck, trickles wide. Spun out in front, hits a skate. And now pinching down Bacchus from the right point. Will play it deep in the corner. Over to help out is Weber. And cycled back down low and chased down there by Will Summers. Still working around the perimeter. Anselmo wrister off the right circle, and that's steered aside by Frischler. Can't clear. Kindgren holds it in, moves it down low back behind the net. Kindgren picks it up, throws it up high, and a one-time attempt there by Stenholm. Didn't quite connect with it as solidly as he'd like. He ended up pushing it wide on the near side. Bacchus over for Kindgren once again, and both teams picking up the pace a little bit. It looked like for Wenatchee looking to try to capitalize on their early 2-0 lead, and for Seattle looking to try to make up for lost ground in that first 18 minutes. So both teams inspired here earlier. Snell, he shoots, and that one just goes high and wide as he was looking for his 2nd of the year and 2nd of the game. Sometimes, boy, you open the floodgates and and things will happen for you. Here's the lead feed, chased now by Freeman, but Snell on the back check was hustling and bumped him off the play. Connor Jensen reverses. An offensive-minded defenseman, drop pass, shot low and wide by Cohen Wood, held in the zone far point. Wilderness with it, it's over to Connor Jensen. He's in, that shot. That's up over the crossbar, off the glass, back to Snell. Snell left point, throws it off the boards. Goodmanson intercepts for Seattle, and then bangs it around. Connor Jensen holds it in right point. That shot through traffic goes low and wide across the bow. Over to Snell, and that shot deflects. He was able to recover and turned it back along the boards deep into the corner. Cohen Wood pursues. A little help there. Max Wilkinson, though, for Seattle, can't clear. Jensen holds it in left point. Sends it down low. Goodmanson will chase after it, and he comes up and he promptly rips that the length of the ice, realizing his team is in need of a fresh set of legs out there. 14:24 left to go. Second period, 2-0 in favor of the Wenatchee Wilderness. All the offense coming in the opening 4 minutes of the game. Bobby Anselmo a minute 3 into the contest. Braden Snell at the 4:01 mark. Luke Pizzi's line is out. He'll take the draw. Wins it cleanly back to Kindgren. Shot swallowed up by Frischler. He'll hang on and we'll reset and do it once again inside the Seattle zone. Thunderbirds going for another line change. That line was only out for about 3 seconds. Luke Pizzi will stand in to take the draw once again and perhaps maybe go opting for a stronger centerman possibly. It was the rationale for Seattle there. Puck whipped around and back to the point. Seattle with it at the right point. Shot blocked there by Templeton. And as he tried to chase after it, it ends up being dumped back in. Wolf sends it around behind. He's one of the alternate captains for the Seattle squad. Chipped along. Pizzi smacks it off the boards. Templeton chasing it. Dua, however, got a stick on it and was able to put it back in. The Wilderness have to tag up, and they do. They continue to pursue, getting a partial line change back behind the play. Up through center on the left side. Here comes Cruz, and his opportunity is steered wide. Tied up on the end boards. Cruz fights for it, but Kindgren has it for Wenatchee. Over on the left side, Anselmo gains the red, throws it in deep, rolls around behind the net, back up along the near side boards, and out through center. That, however, is going to go the length of the ice, and icing will be called against Seattle. So we'll get the face-off back down at that end of the ice. To the corner it goes, back up to the point. Jensen kicks at it to keep it onside. Strider ball tries to get a handle on it, but it's going to be handled by Weber. Weber low to high up to the left point for Bacchus. Jensen cranks, shot blocked. Weber tries to find it, and it does find Frischler as he's able to cover up on it at the top of the crease. That was kind of a crazy careening puck bouncing around a little bit there for a moment. But Frischler out. Top of the crease to cut down the angle, and he was able to secure it. Face off inside the Seattle zone. 12:57 to go, second period. 2-0, Wenatchee on top. Off the draw, spun around, held in Jensen. He tried to get a shot, but got knocked away, and now here come the Thunderbirds. In is Lang. He cuts to his right, shot, and that's denied as Landry was there and comes up with another big stop. Delayed penalty, however, will be issued against Wenatchee. Seattle about to get their second power play opportunity of the game. Bacchus for tripping. Time of the penalty here, 5 minutes, 22 seconds into our second period. So for Seattle, looking for something with the man advantage. They're now 0 for 7 on the day, 0 for 1 in this contest. Pizzi against Lang on the face-off, and it's going to be controlled by Seattle. Over to the right boards, angled off to the point once again. Handled there. Right side shot deflected. Nicely done by Pizzi, getting a stick in the lane. Then down low, Brendan Lang has it. Sets it up for Wilmert. And then back up along to the point, Matheson. To Wilmert once again. In deep left wing corner as they continue to work it around the perimeter here on the strong side. Here's Matheson. That shot blocked on the way through. Pizzi can't find it, but Kindgren does, and he's able to lift it off a glove hand. It goes out through center, and Matheson will play it in his own end. That technically probably could have been a hand pass, but they're not going to call it. As a win off a glove hand and next played by Seattle, but nonetheless, play continues. 1:05 to go in the power play. 2-0 in favor of Wenatchee, and Wilderness shorthanded. Cohen Wood wanted to clear, can't get it out. Lang will play it. Cleared the length of the ice, and it's in on net. And here's a feed for Hansen, who shot and a save made. Very quickly, Wesley Hatz got sprung as he slipped in behind the defense, caught the pass at the blue line, came in, tried to go 5-hole, but Landry came up with the stop. So another face-off coming inside the Wenatchee zone. It's Weber who will take the draw for Wenatchee, standing in across from Max Cruz. And Wenatchee able to successfully clear it, ringing it off the glass, down to the far end. Frischler tees it up, leaves it there for Jason Dua. Up ahead, off the ankle of Cohen Wood for a moment, but Cruz will find it. Had in the zone for a moment, Wenatchee can't clear. Jensen poke checks at it, and Zeisel over on the far wall, sets up. And now Seattle able to work it around the perimeter. Shot in, save made, and a right leg pad save by Landry. On the doorstep, another big one. Hatz winds, no shot. One-timer by Cruz, and another stick save made. Puck back behind the net. And is pressed up there. Penalty over. Wenatchee back at full strength. A perfect 8 for 8 on the kill thus far in the contest. Dua's going to chase it down, but it's going to be instead collected by Frischler. And he hangs on. It was an awkward play for a moment as Frischler went to cover up on it, but it actually went off his stick blade for a moment. And with pressure bearing down, it was kind of a close call for a moment, but no harm, no foul. Face-off coming inside the Seattle zone. 10:21 to go, second period. 2-0 Wenatchee on top. And off the draw, smacked out to center. Handled there by Kindgren. Lobbed in deep. Paulson chases after it for the Thunderbirds. T-Birds can't get it out of the zone. Hustling across. Spencer Stenholm kept it onside. Feeds it in deep. Paulson down low. Moves it around behind for Blake Matheson. Then back over for Goodmanson once again behind his net. Goodmanson moves it up the left wing. Lead feed ahead through center. Freeman gets in behind. He shoots, and a save made by Landry. He'll hang on. There is no rebound. You know, the Thunderbirds have done a real good job of it, of being able to slip in behind the Wenatchee defense and catch some of those stretch passes which set up the breakaway opportunities. There's been more than at least 3 of them here in this game. But so far, Landry's been able to answer each time. There's a shot by Bordeaux. I got blocked on the way through. Connor Jensen finds it. Spins around, moves it up on the near side for Templeton. That pass ahead into the boots of Pizzi. He's able to collect it. He's got help on the left side. Saucers a pass across, broken up. And Templeton tries to get to it. Now Snell is there, but it's off his blade and smacked back out to center. Jensen had it. Seattle's going to lob it in deep, but they're well offside. They'll have to loop back around, in which they do. And no play will continue as the Wilderness advance through center. Templeton knifes his way right up the middle, curls in, tried to make a last move through the boots, but unsuccessful. 9 minutes left to go, the official midway point of our second period. At the next whistle, they'll stop and do an ice cut, and that's going to happen right now following that icing call against Seattle. So all the scoring coming in the first 4 minutes as we've reached the midway point of the game. Bobby Anselmo, his 6th of the year at the minute 3 mark, and then Braden Snell at 4:01, putting Wenatchee up 2-0. And that's where we stand here midway through the contest. Take a break for the ice cut, and we'll pick action back up with a face-off that will be inside the Seattle zone when we resume second period action. After this break, you're watching Wenatchee Wild and Seattle Junior Thunderbirds hockey exclusively on YouTube. We'll be right back. The ice has been cut, and we're ready to drop the puck and get things going here as we resume action in the second period. 8:52 on the clock. The Wenatchee Wilderness with a 2-0 lead over the Seattle Junior Thunderbirds. Face off in the Seattle zone. And I think we have a pause for a moment. Not quite sure what they got going on over there. Players are lined up and ready to go. And we're underway. Face off is to the right-hand side of Frischler, the goaltender for Seattle. Face-off starting there, of course, because we had the icing call to end the first half of the second period. Bouncing puck, left side, and it's Lutz who will send it down into the Seattle zone. Over the far corner, offered along by Matheson. He gets it out to center, but then dumped back in by Lutz. Frischler will set it up and tee it behind the net. Worked along, up through center, and it's Braden Lang, who had it, taken away, as Wenatchee will control in their own end. Jensen back behind the net, reverses, backhands along, but gets turned over, tossed out front, and Lang couldn't get a shot. Now to Dua at the left point, smacked away from him, and Jensen able to angle it along. Got a little too much on that, and that's going to be an inadvertent icing call, as he was really trying to move it ahead where it could be picked up by Stenholm in stride, but just got a little too much on it. And it went the length of the ice. 7:56 on the clock here in period number 2. Goodmanson set to take the draw for Seattle across from Cage Ballard. And then it's Kindgren who will whip it around, but gets sent back around behind the Wenatchee net. Kindgren fights for it there. Goodmanson on his tail. Bacchus finds it, sends it up along the wall, but not enough to clear. Held in, shot there, and Landry will cover that one up. Came right in on the logo, and he was in a good spot positionally. And one of the things that Landry's done really well in this game, even more so than he did in the morning, and I thought in the morning he played quite well, but positionally he's been in the right spot for the most part, and his rebound control has been quite good. Bacchus rims it around, gets it out through center. Greg Kagan chases after it. Hustling on the back check is Wesley Hatz. Hatz in his own end, bangs it off the far wall. Goodmanson comes up with it, snaps a pass along, but that sails over to the near side boards and then finds its way in. Looked like it was heading out of play, but there's a quick shot and a save again by Landry. Justin Freeman with the shot from the left circle. Back the other way, here's Templeton. Templeton with a centering feed, backhanded, and that trickled just wide as Pizzi tried to get it to the forehand and couldn't dangle it in. Smack back down to the corner. Hatz will play it there for Seattle. Wenatchee getting a change in. Hatz in his own corner. Lifts it up out through center, and Braden Snell will chase it down. Snell having a bang-up game. Got his first goal of the year. He's had a couple other good looks. And some good defensive plays, too. Some strong back-checking. Here's Logan Weber. Comes into the zone, but poke checked away, and Seattle able to come back through center. And there again, Snell hunting on the back check, doing a good job of keeping strides with Jimmy Zeisel. Shot taken there by Cruz, but that's blocked, and that'll rattle all the way back down into the Thunderbirds zone. They'll pick it up and collect it there. Angled along for Zeisel, and then picked up and carried on the near side, deep into the zone by Quinn Tracy. Sent down low and taken by Jensen. Connor Jensen for Wenatchee. Got it ahead out to center. And Selmo was there, but Seattle will control. On the left wing, down inside the Wilderness zone. Wenatchee looking to try to clear. Can't quite get it out. Zeisel is there. Reverse pass. Intercepted by Strider Ball. Ball bangs it off the wall. Wilkinson holds it in, however, from the left side. Works it down low, back around behind. Pitching from the right point, Bordeaux. And it's going to be Weber who ends up finding it. Weber to Jensen. Jensen angles it off the left wall in stride. Kagan across for Strider Ball. Right wing. He's going to be ridden into the corner. And the battle will continue there. Nice check thrown there, but then it's held onto by Tracy. Backhand dish for Zeisel, but a little too much sauce on it. He couldn't hang on. Strider Ball gets a whack at it, trying to find it. Still loose in front. Shot and a save made there on the backhanded attempt by Quinn Tracy. And that came right in towards the 5-hole, but Landry able to squeeze the knee pads together and control that. 4:59 left on the clock here in our second period. Wenatchee still riding the strength of 2 early first period goals. And Selmo his 6th, Snell his 1st. Blocker side of Landry. Cage Ballard has it, sends it over on the left side for Spencer Stenholm, and he hacks at it, but that's going to find its way up into the Thunderbirds bench. Ballard stands in across from Brendan Lang. Ballard punches it through, 3-on-2 developing, but flicked along by the Thunderbirds, and they're able to reverse course and come back the other direction. Connor McCauley called his name a lot in the morning game, not quite so much here in the evening matchup. Loose puck side of the net, and behind the back dish by McCauley. Steered away. Kindgren wants to get to it. He does. And sends a pass ahead, but it was off the body of Stenholm. No one can seem to get it to lay down and control. Now finally Templeton picks it up, and he'll race up along the right side with it. Templeton throws it to the end wall, hits the brakes there, then pursues in the right wing corner. He's got help in front with Ballard, but now Ballard back behind the net, wants to roll it out front. He does, but no one in a white sweater there to assist. And it's going to be chipped along off the left wing boards down inside the Wenatchee zone. Bacchus is there to pick it up. 2-man forecheck, but Woods able to get it out to center. Wolf backhands it along, collected by Connor Jensen. Jensen dances into the zone, throws it across left side, gets it back, and the puck won't lay down. Now spinning and shooting is Pizzi, and it just went wide from the slot area, and he slapped it wide blocker side, back the other direction. It's going to be hunched in by Matheson. There's a centering feed. Coming back the other way, here comes Wenatchee. Pizzi on the right side. He's in, centering feed across, shot off the post. Over on the left wing with an opportunity was Bacchus, and he ended up rifling it off the post, and then Connor Jensen's shot is swallowed up by Frischler. He hangs on with 3:13 to go in the second period. It remains 2-0 in favor of the Wenatchee Wilderness. Well, definitely getting some iron in the diet tonight. Off the draw, Kindgren plays it at the right point, sends it down low, intended for Weber, but chiseled away, goes into the opposite corner. Kagan pursues. Seattle spinning it around. They can't get it out of the zone, however. Right wing corner. Now Summers chases after it. Kagan left boards, back down low for Weber. Weber comes up the wall, throws it up top to the point. Snell with a shot. Got deflected on the way through. Kagan was there, but ends up being saucered out through center. Quinn Tracy chases it after it, and he tried to hunt it down, but Wenatchee doing a good job. Snell was there. There's a centering feed, and unable to get the shot off was Tracy. Again, nicely defensed, and that puck's going to pop up and sail over the glass and out of play. Neutral zone draw. Brendan Lang across from Cage Ballard. Templeton smacks at it, dances around through center, and here come the Wilderness entering the zone. And he saucered along looking for Ballard to try to get a tip. Couldn't connect. Seattle back through center, racing along. Here's Lang into the zone. Backhand dish pad save made by Wilmert. And that one turned aside as well. And there's a quick wrister by Wilmert, and that one whistled wide of the net. Strider ball far side. Big check thrown on him. The puck remains. And then Lang slides it across from McCauley. McCauley up top midpoint. Shot there, and a blocker save made by Landry as he tracked that well. Came up top for Max Wilkinson right up there at the midpoint. Some good crisp puck movement for Seattle in that sequence. But Landry is just dialed in right now. Good side-to-side movement, and then up top. And he tracked it all the way in and blockers it out of play. Off the draw, there's Wolf. His shot goes low and wide. Back the other way. Wenatchee able to get it out through center, but broken up right in front of the Thunderbirds bench. Dug out by Stenholm as he tries to move it along and then eventually escapes with it. 2-on-2. Stenholm in. Curl and drag. Shot deflects away into the right corner. Back to Kindgren. He holds it in at the right point, but then it gets chipped away. And here comes Freeman. He's got to step on Bacchus. He's in. He cuts to the right. He shoots and he scores. Freeman on the breakaway. Bacchus was right on his tail. He got a step, though. And Justin Freeman was able to come in. He went up high on the glove side. And Seattle on the board. A minute 14 left in the period, so 16:46 time of the goal. And Seattle cuts into the Wenatchee lead. Now 2-1 in favor of the Wilderness. For that old 2-goal lead, you know how dangerous those are. And here's living proof right there before our very eyes. Under a minute to go, second period. Snell to Summers. Summers on the right wing. Summers works his way deep into the corner. Wants to get a centering pass off. It's broken up. And then picked up by Weber, and his backhand dish intercepted, carried into the zone on the near side by Wilkinson. His wrister, he scores! Wilkinson from in deep in the left circle. And he rockets a wrister that found the top part of the net, bar down. Two quick strikes for Seattle, and they have evened the score at 2 apiece. 17:21 time of the goal. Those two scores coming just 35 seconds apart. So tied at 2. Wenatchee with 2 goals early in the first. Seattle with 2 goals late here in the second. We got a 2-2 hockey game, and we're setting up for one heck of a third period. Back through center. Kindgren has it, poke checked off his blade, and then Lutz spins, throws it across over to the far side. Back down where Lutz will fight for it. Punched away, sent back around down low, and from behind the net there's a centering feed, but unable to connect with it in the slot area was Tracy, and that'll be cleared the length of the ice and gets blown down for icing. So with 3 ticks left on the clock, there will be an offensive zone draw for the Thunderbirds here. Game tied at 2, late here in the second. Blocker side of Landry. Goodmanson will take the draw, and it gets pushed wide of the net, and that'll bring us to the horn. And the second period officially in the books. So with a second period that was briefly interrupted for our ice cut, the Seattle Thunderbirds come back and they score twice, 35 seconds apart late in the period. They've tied this game at 2 apiece, And the third period coming your way in just a couple of moments here on YouTube. And we're back with third period action here at the iFiber Rink in Town Toyota Center. Table is set for a great third period here. Wenatchee and Seattle even up at 2 apiece. And here's a quick centering feed, and that gets tipped wide, and trying to follow it up was Summers. Now Lutz with a shot. That's blocked on the way through. And it's Brendan Lang back the other way for Seattle. Lang forced wide. Carries it deep into the right corner. Check thrown there by Braden Lutz. And an outlet pass over on the right side, and it's Connor Jensen, a defenseman that loves to rip the puck, and that one shot wide, rattles off the inboards back through center. McCauley chases it down, but forces a little deeper inside the Wenatchee zone before peeling off on a change. There was a long pass through, but back to pick it up is Wesley Hatz. And their pass is picked off from Kagan deep in the left corner. Tried to sling it out in front for Templeton, didn't connect. Hustling down Kindgren from the right side. Then left for Templeton. That's tossed right into the slot area, but picked up and cleared not out. Held in Bacchus. Bacchus gets it across for Pizzi. Backhand dish intended on the right side for Kagan, but he was being tied up and couldn't get the shot off. Might have been better off to take the shot. Pizzi sends it across. Templeton shot off the outside of the post. Had a wide open top half on the blocker side, and in the time it took him to coil and shoot, he ended up just ripping it off the outside of the pipe. Puck fired the length of the ice by Seattle, and Hatz is content to take the icing call and reset with a defensive zone draw. 16-18 showing on the clock, and we're even up at 2 apiece. Gage Ballard standing in across from Nick Goodmanson. It's going to be punched out by Freeman. He was the one that broke the seal. Here comes Freeman on the far side. Dished back across, but swatted away before it could find Dominic Wolf, who was going right up the middle. Battle on the boards, off to the right of Landry. Punched out by Wenatchee, and here they come up through center. Here's Spencer Stenholm, left side. His shot is up off the top of the glove of Frischley, and it goes up over the glass and out of play. So Connor Jensen, a defenseman by trade, but you'll see him lead the rush more often than you'll see most defensemen. Puck spun around, played by Wilmert on the far side, can't clear. Held in by Summers, drop pass, and a wrister and a glove save made there as Logan Weber pulled the trigger from the top of the right circle, but Frischler was able to see that one pretty clearly all the way through and makes a nice glove save. Right wing side for the offensive Wenatchee Wilderness in the corner. Summers backhands it along. Weber pursues at the half wall, uses the body to protect. Check thrown there by Matheson and pile up of bodies. Referees want him to move it along, and they get up, and now they do. Now Weber back behind the net, being held there. Escapes, has it on the backhand, tried to toss it out front for Summers, got knocked away. Here's Jensen, but he was on his backhand. That wrister is knocked aside into the corner. If Jensen was a left-hander instead of a right-hander, he would have had a good, crisp shot, but couldn't quite get it off. There's a big hit thrown in open ice as that was Will Summers lowering the boom, taking down Max Cruz. Crossing feed, tipped along, and Zeisel overskated it. Zeisel was looking for his second breakaway opportunity of the game. But this one's going to be ripped the length of the ice, and Seattle again content to take the icing to get the line change. Lang and Pizzi on the face-off dot. Savage plays it for Seattle. whips it around. Tracy gets a stick on it, but it's held in by Wenatchee. Kagan fights for it, gets it over to Pizzi on the right side. Shot from a steep angle, gets blocked. And recovering is Quinn Tracy on the far side. He'll send it the length of the ice. And that is not going to be icing, so the Wilderness have to chase it down and control. From behind their own net, they'll come up along the near side with it. Then backhand it around. Cohen Wood is there. Poke checked away and deflected back into the corner once again. Still inside the Wenatchee zone. Wilderness, Gabe Kindren moves it along the near side. Up along for Kagan. Kagan bumped by Lang. Savage wants to play it. Cohen Wood on his tail. Spun around, pinching down from the right point. It's going to be played there by Cage Ballard. Up top for Bacchus, and his shot got blocked. Clearing attempt by the Thunderbirds is successful to get it out to center. McCauley works it along for Lang, but Lang stood up just inside the line. Wenatchee moving right to left here in this third period. There's Lang, he shoots and he scores. A low wrist shot, an ankle burner gets by Landry on the glove side. And the captain, Brendan Lang, scoring here at the 4:38 mark of the third period. 3 unanswered goals for Seattle as they've shaken off an early 2-0 deficit. And Seattle now has their first lead of the game. Shot was taken from the slot area and just a low wrister on the glove side, and it finds the back of the net. A little bit of traffic in front, but there's going to be an icing call here, and we'll head back down into the Seattle zone. Weber flanked by Summers and Anselmo. Puck pushed in, smacked by the T-Birds around. Bacchus pinches down, dangles it out front, but gets knocked aside. Freeman feeds it further along, intended for Wolf, and the Wilderness play it back in their own end. Summers give and go, leaves it for Jensen. Jensen double teamed over on the far boards, tries to muscle it a little further along. And eventually Weber's there, and they step into the zone. Weber from the circle, shot, and he scores! Logan Weber answers for Wenatchee to tie it back up at 3. The Wilderness had to do a good job to make sure they stayed on side on that zone entry. 6:16, time of the goal. And for Logan Weber, his 6th goal of the season as well. So he joins Bobby Anselmo and Spencer Stenholm in that category as far as leading the team in goals scored. Tied at 3. We said it was setting up to be a good third period, and it's been exactly that thus far. Braden Snell in his own end for Wenatchee. Taps it off the backboards for Kindgren. Now up top left point, Dua with a shot. And that one is steered away into the corner. Dua, 2 goals in the morning game. Been kind of quiet here in this one, but had a good opportunity there. Now here comes Kagan into the zone. His wrister, blocker save, and up out of play. Kagan kind of got himself turned around a little bit as he was receiving that pass and had one guy back. He had an opportunity and pulled the trigger. Eventually got a decent shot off. But Frischler made a nice save. Steers it out of play. Face off inside the Seattle zone. Cage Ballard locks up on the dot, but Dua steps in and ends up chipping it over the glass out of play. Cohen Wood taps it back to Snell. That shot blocked on the way through. Hacked at by Seattle, can't clear. Over the left side, Stenholm, and that one is deflected, goes up over the glass and out of play. 12 minutes left in our third period, tied at 3. Ballard once again will take the draw. Then to Cohen Wood, his quick shot right off the draw. Turned aside, shot off the post from the doorstep. Ballard was right between the hash marks and put it off the post on the glove side. Frischler was without his stick. Now Freeman back to the way. That shot gets punched away by the blocker of Landry and chiseled off the wall. Back to the left point, held in by Savage. Work down low. Freeman tries to get a handle on it. Backhands it along once again, where it's played by Dominic Wolf. Battle continues in the corner. Weber has it. He works around to the near side. And then smacked up through center. Spencer Stenholm will chase after it. And then coming out to play it, sensing that Stenholm was there, was Frischler. Back out to center, and the Wilderness enter the zone onside just barely. Bacchus shot steep angle off the outside of the post, and then backhanded off the glass. And not enough to clear on the initial attempt, but in and out across the line, we get a whistle for the offside. Shots on goal in the second period, 13-7 in favor of Seattle. It was 9-8 Wenatchee in the first. So two-period shot total, Seattle with 21 through the first two periods, and Wenatchee with 16. Here's a pass for Anselmo, his shot, and that's blockered away. Anselmo with a pair of goals on the day, one in the morning game, one here in this one. Got the party started. Looking for another one, but denied by Frischler. Now here's Zeisel in that opportunity, unsuccessful. Back to the way, here's Luke Pizzi. Pizzi tries to get a step on Bordeaux. He's got help, he's got Anselmo in front. Instead, he'll hit the brakes, waits, throws it up high for Bacchus. Bacchus had it bounce off his blade and then recovers. That should have been a hand pass, but not caught by the officials. Pizzi dumps it in. Pizzi picks it up back behind the net. Comes around into the corner. Still on the left wing side. Back up top, Snell has it. Throws it into the right wing corner. Chased down by Kagan. Strider ball comes along, but it's held into the point. Shot tipped and just wide. Shot was taken by Jensen and hit a deflection in front and then just rattled wide. Roman Templeton chases after it. Left wing corner, Strider ball in to help. Zeisel in there, Cruz for Seattle. Up top midpoint, that shot snapped. And again off the glass. Templeton comes up along the near side for a cycling Connor Jensen, but then it gets lifted away and bounced out through center. Templeton plays it at his own line, back ahead for Jensen. He'll pitchfork it deep into the zone. Seattle getting a change in. Wenatchee a partial change behind the play as well. The Thunderbirds up through center. Matheson gets to the red line and dumps it in. Lutz was there for Wenatchee, and then Weber tried to move it along. But then Lang was there, the captain for the Seattle Thunderbirds. He'll move it back down into the Wenatchee zone. Pass ahead for Stenholm. Stenholm eludes the check of McCauley and then drives it off the left boards in deep. There's a long pass, but that off the skate of Stenholm turns back down into the corner once again. Over to the right side, in comes Seattle. They'll throw it around back behind the Wenatchee net, rattles to the left point. Centering feed there and unable to connect was Lang. He was coming out of the right wing corner and he was right there on the back door. Here comes Wenatchee advancing. Cohen Wood left side. Moves it back around behind the net, but Jason Dua was there. Dua ends up with it back. His pass on the far side. Moved ahead for Freeman. Freeman was recovering, backpedaling through center, and he'll get it deep inside the Wenatchee zone. Bacchus bumped there, lost his stick, and the battle continues. Squirts loose back behind the net. Kindgren comes away with it and backhanded over on the side. It was intended for Ballard on the right wing, but it's out of his reach. Savage comes back to play it. He gets bumped off the play. And a centering feed in front. Save made Frischler. And cleared back through center again. Snell's going to chase after it. He is able to outrace Dominic Wolf and Now Snell cuts over to the right side, gains the zone. He's in from a steep angle. His shot just goes low and wide. As he scored that first goal of the year back in the first period, he's been sniffing for another. He's had a couple of good looks, feeling some confidence here. There's Templeton in, hits the brakes over on the right wing. Stops short there, turns it off at the half boards, but no support there. The puck lifted up into the rafters, and that'll bring a whistle, but the face-off will stay inside the Seattle zone. 7:06 on the clock, tied at 3, third period. Second game of a 3-game weekend set. Seattle winning this morning 4-1. Face off in the Seattle zone here, and it's going to be smacked up along the boards. Not enough to clear though. Pizzi throws it over. Kagan pursues left corner. Lutz is in there as well. Squirts up high. Jensen, shot, save made, and secured. That's the second time that Connor Jensen, by virtue of being a right-handed defenseman, if he'd have been a lefty, there's been a couple of times where he'd had some really good opportunities. But in that moment that it takes him to collect the puck and then reposition himself to where he can get a forehand shot, that's been the difference a couple of times. Off the draw, Ballard has it. Jams it down low. Dua works it a little further along, but not enough to clear initially. Second attempt does come out to center. Lutz to Stenholm, but then Lang for Seattle steps in and jars it away. Back to the Seattle zone it goes. Dua over to the right wing, gets it out to center. Jensen moves it back ahead for Stenholm, but that gets poke-checked away as well. McCauley had it. Now it's down inside on the right side. Lang tried to dance into the zone, but got smacked off his blade into the corner. Again, it's loose back behind the Wenatchee net. Jensen works it along, and now it's Stenholm who carries it through center. Cohen Wood was along with him, but he's going to peel off for a change, and that allows Seattle to jam it out through center. And the speedy Freeman tries to race it down. And changing on the fly behind him. Freeman's speed was able to generate the first goal for Seattle back in the second period. That was the one that started a spree of 3 unanswered for the T-Birds. That got them a 3-2 lead. That was until Logan Weber knotted it back up at 3. Loose puck right side. Will Summers tries to get a step on Savage, and he fanned on the shot. Now he's going to chase it down on the end boards. Continues to fight for it there. Goodmanson comes away with it, extracting it out of the pack and bangs it out through center. And now Freeman's going to try to chase it down on the far side. Lutz forces him wide. Gets it on net, and that'll be steered away by Landry. Back through center. Strider ball on the right side. He'll leave it for an advancing Anselmo. Bobby Anselmo, his centering feed, broken up by Hatz. Can't clear, though. Held in over to the right side by Snell. He dances in from the right side. Centering feed, broken up. And Goodmanson on the far wall looks to play it. Goes off a body, trickles out to center. And the Wilderness have to tag back up to get onside, which they do. And that puck rifled off the glass near side. 4:15 left to go. Third period, still tied at 3. It's just inside the Wenatchee zone for a moment. Seattle looking to re-enter as Quinn Tracy was chasing it down, but steered away and back out into the neutral zone. Cruz handling it there for Seattle. He's checked off the play by Kagan. Out of ball, his shot, glove save, and secured by Frischler. Nice check in the neutral zone thrown by the Wilderness to force the turnover and create that opportunity. 3:56 left to go here in our third period. And to be honest, I don't know what happens when they go to, if they finish tied in this contest with COVID rules and everything else. Who knows what they'll do. I don't know if we'll have a shootout, 5-minute overtime. I'm not sure what to expect. Off the draw, it's to Templeton, and his shot swallowed up by Frischler. So another face-off in the T-Bird zone. Weber, clean face-off win, back over to Jensen on the right side. He throws it off the right wing boards, and Stenholm fights for it on the end wall. Gets a little help there from Weber. Weber tried to snap it up top, but T-Birds break that up. Lead feed is for Cruz on the right side. Tries to go wide on Bacchus, and as he does, the puck trickles towards the side of the net, and that's easily secured by Landry. Face-off coming inside the Wenatchee zone now with 3:32 on the clock. Game just a second away from being 3's Wild up there on the scoreboard. Off the draw, it's up top, snapped high over the crossbar by Wesley Hatz. Wenatchee gets it back. Can't get it out of the zone though. Here's Lang, he comes in, and that shot poke checked away. Smacked up the near wall, not enough to clear on the initial attempt. Comes bouncing down, kicked along by Kindgren. Still in the zone, however. Hatz recovers, but it's going to bounce out to center. Cohen Wood on the right wall. Sent back along through the neutral zone. Picked up and then intercepted, carried back in though by Lang. And offside, whistled against the Thunderbirds, and that was a very close call. But a turnover by the Wilderness, and that could have been really dangerous, but the offside call saves Wenatchee's bacon for the moment. Goodmanson across from Pizzi on the face-off dot. Freeman punches it through, but Wenatchee will control. Jensen smacks it off the left wall. Kagan chases it down and jams it down to the corner. Matheson is there for Seattle. In to help. The Wilderness have it. Up top, Jensen, and then back for a cycling Pizzi. However, Seattle able to smack it off the boards back through center. Jensen, however, controls it there, and he'll dance into the zone. Jensen, right side, shot off the outside of the post, and over against the near side wall, back to the point, backhanded in by Snell. And towards Jensen once again. He's a guy who loves to carry the puck, loves to rip it. Had a good opportunity there, and that's why coaches let him do it. Here's Stenholm. He spins, throws a pass across, but it was through the ankles of Weber, who was unable to get a stick on it. And that's going to get lifted by Seattle up over the glass and out of play. That's going to keep the face-off inside the Seattle zone, but they will get a fresh set of legs out. It was a pretty good opportunity, but the pass a little behind as it went right through the boots of Weber. Had it been a little bit further ahead, he would have had a chance to get a stick on it. Wilderness control off to the right point, slung around back behind. Weber wanted to roll it out front, but he got it lifted off his blade by Hatz, and that's cleared. Bacchus will chase it down, and hustling down on his tail is Zeisel. There's a centering feed out front. Left circle shot blocked on the way through. Templeton pokes at it. Comes bouncing down where it's gloved and controlled, and worked ahead now for Templeton. He's into the zone near side. Hits the brakes, spins around, high slot, pushes it across. Shot there, and it is covered up by Frischler. 1:25 left. Third period, we're tied at 3. It was a long stretch pass there for Templeton, and it looked pretty close to being maybe onside, maybe not, but as he came into the zone, created an opportunity, and Frischler, who gave up a couple early, has been solid since. Tied at 3 with 1:25 to go. Matheson swings it around. Can't quite get it out of the zone. Second effort he does, and now it's down inside the Wenatchee end. Connor Jensen behind his own net, sends it up the seam. Pizzi gives it to Wood, and then Wood saucers the feed ahead for Stenholm. Stenholm down to the left wing corner. hacked at by Seattle, and enough to clear. Wood has to play it in neutral territory. Cohen Wood hits the brakes, reverses, comes back up along the near side. We're into the final minute of our third period. McCauley had it, poke checked away. Seattle has to dump it in. They would have been offside. Now they tag up, and it's handled by the Wilderness behind their own net. Over on the far side, it's played by Braden Snell, but Snell got upended. He's playing from his backside. Weber will chase it down in the near corner. Crossing feed, tipped ahead as they try to get it to Summers. Snell had a stick on it, but now it's Lang. That opportunity gets steered aside. 23 seconds left. Wenatchee escapes out of their zone. Right side, Summers chisels it ahead, deep into the right wing corner. Stenholm and Matheson both chase after it. Stenholm couldn't get to it. Matheson does have it back behind his own net. Tipped by Wolf, bounces down out to center ice territory. Wolf moves it ahead, intended for Freeman, but that brings us to the horn and the end of regulation play. Well, if it's tied at 3 after 3, let's play some 3-on-3 and get this one figured out. So Seattle will move right to left here in this overtime session. Cruz, Lang, and Matheson are out for Seattle. It's Weber who will take the draw. Weber is with Jensen and Anselmo. Jensen over to Anselmo on the left side. Had a little pressure from Cruz, and as he waits, the puck ends up being tied up right in front of the Seattle bench. Now Jensen escapes with it, but poke checked away, and we'll have to double back for Weber. 3-on-3, sudden death overtime. Gotta love it. Here comes Anselmo into the zone. Whips it over to the midpoint for Jensen. Jensen cuts to his right. Works his way in deep. Loops around back behind the net. Still with it. Over to Weber. Weber across for Anselmo. Anselmo hits the brakes. Then tosses it over to the left side. And it's out of the reach of Jensen. And that allows Cruz to collect it. Max Cruz from behind the net. Feeds it over on the right side. Matheson ahead now for Lang. Touch pass back across right side Cruz. Cruz is headed off at the pass by Templeton. He'll loop around back to the high slot. Cruz on the near side, spins to the forehand, sets it up for Lang. Turned back for Cruz, but mishandled, so Seattle forced to regroup back in the neutral zone. Cruz again loops back. Templeton's on his tail and forces a turnover, and he's got help with Kindgren. It's going to be Templeton, but it rolls off his blade back behind the net, and that allows Seattle time to get back and set up defensively. Templeton's going to pull all the way back out into the neutral zone and completely set up for the zone entry. There's a lead feed for Pizzi. Pizzi's in right side. He shoots in off the blocker of Frischler. Tried to go high blocker side, and Frischler got a piece of it. Kindgren shot, and that one punched aside by the Seattle netminder as well. Wenatchee with pressure. Here comes Pizzi. Dangles out in front. Spins. That shot just goes low and wide. Kindgren was right there at the side of the net. Back to the point, Bacchus. Excuse me, that's actually as Will Summers with the backhander is turned aside. So 3:07 to go here in our sudden death overtime. Wenatchee led 2-0. Seattle 3 unanswered to take the lead. Logan Weber tied it back up. And that's what's got us into this predicament we're in here. 3-on-3, sudden death OT. Connor Jensen, right point. Walks down the wall with it. Carries it around back behind the net. South centering, it was intended there for Weber, but it bounced off his blade, and Jensen's going to have to hunt it down back in his own end. Setting it up back behind the Wenatchee net. 3-on-3. Here's Weber. Cuts to the left and then drops it off for Stenholm. Stenholm's crossing feed is for Connor Jensen. He enters the zone, crossing back across for Stenholm off his blade into the right wing corner. He had a seam, but just couldn't quite complete the pass and create the opportunity. Here's Goodmanson. Comes out of his own end, poked off his blade, though, by Weber. Weber back the other direction. And he'll wait and hit the brakes and then curls across high slot. Back across, shot on. What a save there. Huge stop as Kindgren was set up by Stenholm. or Weber rather. Now Weber was looking actually for a line change, but the puck came right to him, so he's going to stay on the ice. Weber curls in, loops around, he's at the point, sends a crossing feed over for Stenholm. Now he'll hop off. Shot by Stenholm, deflects off a leg harmlessly into the corner. Seattle regains possession in their own end. They'll loft it up out through center. That's going to come wobbling down into the Wenatchee zone, not deep enough for icing though. Bobby Anselmo will pick it up for the Wilderness. Anselmo comes into the zone. Left side, cuts to his left, top of the left circle, moves it up high. Kindgren, that shot blocked on the way through. Loose puck is swatted into the far corner, and Lang will play it there for Seattle. He wheels, gets ahead of steam, and then careens up through center, up on the near side. Tries to go wide on Anselmo. He does, he shoots, and a save made by Landry. Boy, a nice full head of steam for Lang as he drove up the left side, but Landry comes up with a big save. Over to the right boards. It's held in by Wilkinson down to the corner. Wilkinson back behind. Forced wide by Pizzi. Now Wilkinson walks up the near board. Tried to send it to Wolf. Zigging when he should have been zagging and bobbing when he should have been weaving. Over to Lang on the near side, then back again to Wilkinson. Even deeper into the zone, covered by Wolf. Lang tries to hop in around Pizzi. Gets around him and the puck trickles towards the side of the net. Landry's going to cover up on it. That was a dangerous play. It looked like Wenatchee was in pretty good position to get it cleared away, but somehow it just kept creeping through ever so close. And eventually Landry able to cover up on it with 34 seconds left here in sudden death overtime. Off the draw, Seattle controls. Wilkinson at the left point, fires it in. Cruz back behind the Wenatchee net, keeps it on the backhand, loops around. Over to the right side, Cruz dangles it through, but then turns it over, intercepted by Connor Jensen. Jensen drops it off for Weber in the corner, and Weber has pressure on him. Spins away, we're under 10 seconds to go. Puck inside the Wenatchee zone. Jensen's going to come away with it. Sets it up for Summers, but he's only got 2 seconds. We're going to end up seeing this one, I would believe, decided in a shootout if they do such things. And it looks like that's what they're going to do. It looks like they will, I think, do a shootout. Maybe not. Everyone is gathered around their respective benches for the time being, so well, why not have a shootout? You know, the thing is, we haven't been able to have very much hockey around here lately, so anytime we get a chance to get a little extra hockey, we'll take it. Overtime, shootouts, let's play 2. Let's keep them going. Skate until the blades fall off. Well, this will be an interesting sequence. I'm imagining it's going to be a best of 3. And so the first shooter for Wenatchee is going to be Logan Weber. From Portland, Oregon. Right-hander. He's got the goal that tied the game. He comes in slowly, dekes to his right, and puts it off the post. A nice, slow, lollygagging approach. Came in and put it off the pipe. Tried to go low, tucking it around, and it was unsuccessful. Now shooting for Seattle is their captain. It's Brendan Lang. A little bit more of a head of steam for Lang as he races in. Dangles over to his right, but never got the shot off. Rolled off the end of his blade. Tried almost the same move that Weber did, but just couldn't quite get the shot off. Now Connor Jensen will get the call for the Wilderness. We'll see if he elects to shoot or if he elects to deke. He's got a pretty hard shot. Let's see what he goes with. Cuts to his left, angles in, he winds, he cranks, he shoots, and a save made. Well, you don't see that often. There's not a lot of guys that'll unload a clapper on the shootout, but Jensen was feeling it, but so was Frischler. He denies it. So to the second round of the shootout. And Goodmanson will have the opportunity, the left-hander. 5'5". Waterbug comes in, cuts to his left, backhand, roofs it, and he scores. So Seattle with a 1-0 lead in the shootout. And the Wilderness have an opportunity to try to keep the party going as Greg Kagan will come out. Kagan, left-hander from the Spokane Valley. Comes right up the middle. He's in. He shoots and he scores a 5-hole worm burner. And we're even up at a goal apiece in the shootout. But Seattle with an opportunity to put it away here. It'll come down to one shooter, and that's going to be Connor McCauley. Now the right-hander cuts over to his left. Good head of steam. He's in, he shoots, and he scores. And puts that one to bed. I believe if it's a best of 3, which I think it is, that's going to be the end of it. And Seattle, with a 2-1 advantage in the shootout, will take a 4-3 victory in the game. But that was a very entertaining one for everyone here tonight at iFiber Rink in Wenatchee, Washington. Recapping the scoring quickly, it was Bobby Anselmo getting Wenatchee on the board. Braden Snell made it 2-0, all of that in the first 4 minutes of the game. But then Seattle answering back in the second period. Goals by Justin Freeman to get them on the board. And then Max Wilkinson tied it at 2. In the third period, the captain, Brendan Lang, gave Seattle the lead, but Logan Weber quickly tied it back up with his 6th of the year. And the game was tied at 3 and through overtime and into a shootout where Seattle prevails. Goals from Goodmanson and McCauley to seal the deal as Seattle wins it 4-3 in a shootout. Back here tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., as these two teams meet once again. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast today. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Arch Ecker in Wenatchee, Washington, wishing you all a very pleasant good evening.